Hi guys, it's Jennibellie. I want to talk to you today about my biggest tip for liking your journal pages. Actually, it's two of my biggest tips for liking your journal pages. I don't know why, because it's quite late at night and things, I decided to do this video now, but I kind of follow my video muse like I do my creative muse. If something tells me to do it, then I do it. So I guess the reason why I'm doing it is because I get a lot of comments and emails and things about people that are new to art journaling who are very frustrated that their journal pages don't turn out the way that they want them to turn out. And I mean, this stems off into another area that I could talk about for a long time. But that's another video about how when you first come to art journal, it's very much you have a fear and you want everything to be perfect straight away and everything like that. You don't like it when your art journal pages don't turn out how you like them. But that's another video in itself, the reasons behind it. This video is kind of tackling it and trying to make it that you do like your journal pages. Now, what I think is one of the main reasons why people don't like their journal pages, as well as new people that are new to art journaling, is because I think it's a lot of the time when you have a vision in your mind of how you want your journal page to turn out. So you have the image already, and I did it too when I was a new art journaler. I envisioned in my head, I had the image of how I wanted the page to turn out. I then sat down and did it, and my technical skills and my understanding of media and everything just wasn't there enough to be able to produce what I had in my head. So what I had was kind of a very poor image. It's kind of a B movie to this mega movie that I had in my head, and it was very frustrating. Right now, I am loving how my art journal pages are coming out. Every single one that I've created over the last couple of months, maybe a little bit longer, I have absolutely loved the results of them. But what I had to do to get there is tip one that I'm going to talk about now. It's basically eradicating that idea of what you have in your head. You can try if you still want to make it work, and tip two might help sort it out when it goes wrong. In my opinion and my experience through my own journaling journey, if you do come to try and fit your art journal pages into your preconceptions all the time, you are kind of setting yourself up to not like your art journal pages, because you need to figure out through process and through practice what it is that actually will make that journal page work how you have imagined it in your head. And you're also doing your creativity a great disservice by limiting it just to this one concept that you have in your head and not allowing it to be creatively free. When you imagine how your journal page is going to turn out and you stick to that completely all the way through, what happens is you're ruling out a million, gazillion, billion ways that journal page could turn out. So you're limiting yourself, you're limiting your creativity if you just follow through on one idea, start to finish, and never let yourself veer off in your creativity roam at all. As I've said before in videos, and I've said to people personally, isn't how art journaling should be. It is about the process, and it isn't about what it looks like at the end. But when you are a new art journaler, that doesn't really help, you know. It's dissatisfying to think, oh well, it's supposed to be bad. You know, you want it to be good, and I understand that you want it to be good. That is my first tip. Number two is more relevant and more recent, something that I have done more in my current art journal. And this art journal is my most favourite ever art journal. I love this art journal. You've seen it before. I've done page processes in it, and I will share a couple of journal pages as well at the end of this video to tell you what I'm trying, show what I'm talking about. So tip number two is, if you do not like how your art journal page is going, it's kind of a way to pull it back. So if you've done what we were talking about in tip one, and had a pre-thought out idea, and you've got to the stage where you feel like it should be done, you know, the image has come out, it's not how you want it to be, but it's at the end stage, then my tip is to carry on. So that is what I have done recently to really like my journal pages, is when I might have previously stopped with the page, I carry on a little bit more. And it doesn't always mean I know where the journal page is going to go, or if, you know, it's going to ruin it. I just don't worry about that. I just add a little bit more, and if it frightens you, then just do it in certain areas. Don't cover up the whole page. And let's be honest, if you don't want to cover up what you have done, then it does mean that you like it. If you are reluctant to cover up your page, don't cover it up. Keep it, because it will in the future be something of your journey that you will appreciate, even if it's no longer your taste, or you know, you can still see that that didn't turn out how you wanted it. In a couple of years you will then see how you would have developed that page. But if you are all hesitant, then don't cover it up, you know, to the extent where it's completely eradicated what you had under there before. Maybe just test it out with little things, because layers really do add that extra interest onto a page, which really takes them to that next level, and means that there's something that you are going to really enjoy looking at again, as well as all of the stuff that went into it in the first place. You can get a lot more emotion into a layered page because you can cover up something under layers and layers and layers. So you can add a photo, paint over it, add writing, paint over it. You can put your emotions down into something via doing that. It means that you then learn how best journal pages can develop and become beautiful with layers, and you not then worry that you don't like layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because you know 7 is going to be a corker. So don't stress about the journal pages that you don't like, first of all, is always going to be my advice. But as I said at the beginning, that is another video entirely. So this video is more of a practical one as to steps you can take to ensure that you do like your journal pages. Number one is to make sure that you leave your perfectionist, which is difficult, I know, but it comes with practice. Leave your perfectionist at the door, along with your preconceptions about your journal page, and allow your creativity to go where it wants to go, and to trust in it, to trust in your creativity. That takes time too, but you can do it. So number two is to carry on, and we all know that layers is what adds depth and interest to a journal page. But if you're going to say to me, but you don't know how to do layers, then practice. This is the key point where you can actually learn how to do this. It's no trick to it other than just doing it. So I'll show you some of my journal pages now. This is the first one I picked, and at a glance it is very simple. Girl, circles, and that's it. But underneath all of this, which is the best way to put it, underneath all of this there is collage, there is layers of ink sprays and things. There is, on the circles, there is other pieces of my artwork. Artwork, homemade stamp. There is doodling around all of these circles. There is stickers. On the stickers there is doodling in coloured pencil around the things. There is stamps. There is obviously a girl in water-soluble crayon. Water-soluble pencil, sorry, graphite. And she's again on collage, things that you can't see underneath, but stencil at the top. It's just very simple in a way, but it has a lot of layers to it that are simple. Super simple, but again, I love it. This has just a picture. It has some gesso, some water-soluble crayon, some India ink, stamps, and a bit of washi tape. But underneath all of that, I don't know if you can see at the top of here, there is my life story, because I just wanted it white, so I just covered everything in white, but underneath there is all of that stuff. And also under here, with the India ink and the glass pen that I used there, I also tested out with the ink and you can't see it because I covered it up a little bit, but it's the same thing again. It's just layers and layers and layers. This one is layers of paint, and a process that I used to do when I first started art journaling, like a year into art journaling. This is what I used to do, is layers of paint. But as a result, it looks a lot like the pages that I used to create when I first started getting a little bit confident with art journaling. But it looks like those pages, but it's just something a little bit different, something a little bit more there. And it is the fact that there is more interest on the page through where I position things, where there are layers. I just love it. I don't know why. It looks very, very old-fashioned in my journaling. It's kind of what I did years ago, but I love it. It's relevant to me now as much as it was then. So this page, I love it. Hope you can see it. Layers and layers of papers more than paints. Main paint in it is gesso. It's white space. This picture is one I took a couple of weeks ago to show people that follow me on Facebook my new glasses. But it just was relevant to me then. So I then did paper, and I used things that I'd had for years. So I kind of don't want to like bog you down with this. If you want more of this kind of stuff, honestly the best place to go is my blog, because I will post about these pages, but I also always put the personal stuff that's gone on behind it, the feelings and the processes and why and how I got there and things like that. And I think my readers do actually like the fact that I'm very honest about what the reasons behind my journaling. So that is it for the video. I hope you've taken something from it. If you haven't and you're sat there saying, no, Jennibellie, there's nothing in this video, then please try it. Please, for me, try it, because magic things have happened for me when I follow these 2 tips. I'm now producing my favourite ever art journal pages, ever, and I can't see why that would suddenly alter. You know, I'm developing and I'm moving because I am allowing myself to do that. So, through tip 1 and tip 2.